Welcome back to Algebra 2, Chapter 7, Section 7 in this book. And we're going to talk a little bit about statistics. When I was in high school, they didn't. And I had a hard time in college statistics at Kennesaw State University. So, thinking back, I think my teacher didn't know what he was doing. He knew it. I'm sure he made an A in it. But you have to know things at a different level to be able to teach them. Because we'd ask him questions, and he was a big guy with big, broad shoulders, and he'd hunch in, and he'd act like he didn't hear us, and just keep writing on the board, and we couldn't see for his big old shoulders. It was terrible, and it was before Khan Academy or YouTube, so, it was tough. All right. So you probably learned this in pre-algebra and algebra 1, but if not, today's a good day. Statistics and statistical graphs. Okay, so we are going to do most of this on our calculator. It's 2020, baby. But just in case you don't know how, okay, so if we have some data, 1357114159773. Okay, I'm going to tell you the old-fashioned way to do it than the new way. Okay, first you put it in order. And you can get the mean is one of you can get, and it's not like mean or nice. Mean also means average. You hear it on the weather, the mean rainfall in the Atlanta area for this time of year. You add up all of your data and divide by how many you have. So I added them all up, it was 62. I have 11 pieces of data, I divide by 11, and I found out the average of my data is about 5.6. Okay? The symbol for mean is an X with a line on top. You should know that, it's important, okay? But it means average. The reason why these are hard is too many of them start with the letter M. When they make me queen of math, we won't call it mean anymore, we'll call it average. The median is the one in the middle. Once again, when I'm queen of math, it'll be called the middle. You put them in order and you find the middle one. So for mine, the middle one, see I go like, these two, mark out those two, mark out those two, mark out those two, mark out those two, and the middle one is 5. If you have an odd number, there's 2 in the middle, you add them up and divide by 2. If it's an even number, if it's odd, you have one. Okay, you hear the word median if you have a divided highway with grass in the middle. Here they plant wildflowers, or they'll put flags in the middle for 4th of July, and there'll be a sign that says, stay off the median. That means you're not allowed to drive over the grass or the flags unless you're the police. So if you want to be allowed to drive through the median, you've got to be the police, because they'll just bounce through that median, turn on those lights, and go chasing people down 278. It's very exciting. That's our divided highway around here. All right. The next one is mode, once again, letter M, and it means most. What piece of data was repeated the most? And it was 7, because I had 3 of them. Some data does not have a mode, because nothing is more than the other one. The range is sometimes said 1 to 15, or sometimes you subtract them. 15 minus 1 is 14. It has a range of 14. There is another thing called standard deviation. Many things in nature will fall into a bell-shaped curve. The big one everyone knows is intelligence. You got some Albert Einsteins way down here. You got some poor, pitiful people who aren't very smart, but I'm sure they're very nice, way down here. But most of us fall here in the middle. They will and it falls in this bell-shaped curve. They'll divide it up into sections, and each section is a standard deviation. And like if you ever took the Iowa test of basic skills, you can find out how many standard deviations you got above average or below average, depending on how your Iowa test went. Those in Iowa, I think, have an unfair advantage though. All right. So the symbol for standard deviation is this. It's called sigma. It's a Greek letter. It's like an O with a little curly on the end. And these numbers, I'm going to tell you what they mean in a second. All right. The next thing is we can plot this stuff in a plot called box and whiskers. So you put them in order. You put on a number line your lowest number and put a dot. You put your highest number and put a dot. You put your median and put a dot. Each of these dots, you draw a line down and put another dot underneath it. You get the middle of the first half and that's called your first quartile, and you put a dot and draw a line down. You find the middle of your second half, and you put a dot and draw a line down. That's your third quartile. You draw lines from the first dot to the second and the last dot to the one before it, and you draw a box around the 3 in the middle. Now, why in the world do you want to do this? Because 50% of your data will be in that box. And you can go, oh, we've got some people who hate chocolate, and we have some people who hate peanut butter, but most people love chocolate and peanut butter. Reese's is going to be a hit. Okay? I've heard that Southern people say that wrong. Reese's, is that how you Yankees say it? Reese's? And we say it with Reese's. Reese's. All right. Also, you can do a frequency thing, which is fancy math talk for tally marks. So between 1 and 3, I had 4 pieces of data. 4 to 6, I had 2. 7 to 9, I had 4. 10 to 12, I had none. 13 to 15, I had 1. If you get to 5 tally marks, you cross them. You make them in bundles of 5 is the proper way to tally markify. Okay, we can also make histograms. Histograms is fancy math talk for a bar graph. So between 1 and 3 I had 4, 4 and 6 I had 2, so that bar's relatively half. 7 and 9 was also 4, 10 and 12 was none, 13 and 15 was 1, so that tried to be half of that. So that's my bar graph. There's another thing called stem and leaf that you can turn into a histogram real easy. It goes like this. You write what's in the tens place here, the ones place over here, and then you turn it, whoop, bar graph. Dun, dun, dun. If you don't know this or have ever seen it, there is a video for it both in pre-algebra and algebra 1. But anyway, so now, this is 2020, baby. We're going to do this stuff on our calculator. We're going to go to Stat and put our data in under Edit L1. Then we're going to go second Stat over to Math, which is always funny because isn't it all math? I think so. And then we can, if we go down to number 3, it will do the average with that symbol, the mean. If we go to number 4, it'll tell us the median. Isn't that awesome? If we go to number 7, it will give us the standard deviation. Now, back in my day, in the 80s, we had to memorize that standard deviation formula. I want you to be able to do it on your calculator. So I want you to do that example in your book on your calculator, and everyone from now on. You are going to make a mistake. You're going to forget one of those 3 7s doing your math. But you'll put it in carefully in your calculator, and your calculator will do it right. Your calculator will also do a box and whiskers graph for you and a histogram. So come back and watch those Calculator Lab videos where I show you step by step how to do that. It's really fun. So come back and do it. I think all of this is fun. I think I would really enjoy statistics now that I'm older and understand it better. All right, math is great.